One of the problems that I'm seeing a lot with couples right now, and this is younger couples, is that they're not personally emotionally mature. And what they do is they go out and attract another person who's not emotionally mature. And you can't have two people who are emotionally immature that work out a healthy relationship. You just can't, because it doesn't work that way. There's going to be a lot of conflict, a lot of fights. It's also very difficult when one of you is emotionally mature and the other one isn't, because the one who is always going to wonder when their partner's going to grow up. And in many cases, you find a lot of 60, 70, and 80-year-olds that never grew up. Like, they never became emotionally mature. So we do know that emotional maturity does come when the prefrontal cortex is fully developed, to the majority, but not to everyone. And society has a lot to do with that. I'm meeting a lot of couples who still live with their parents, who are in their mid-20s, who cannot support themselves, cannot take care of themselves, and basically refuse to take responsibility and grow up. So if you're dating one of those, you can kind of pass by that, because it's not going to work, and more than likely you're going to end up frustrated and always looking like the boss or the head, which most of the time that is not appealing to someone looking for a partner that they can share a life and vision with. How do you know if your partner is emotionally mature? I have some ways to identify it. The first of these ways is they take responsibility. When someone's emotionally mature, they don't sit around blaming the situation. They decide, okay, I'm low on funds. What am I going to do? I'm going to get a second job. They're able to problem solve. If you can't problem solve, if you're waiting for somebody else to tell you what to do, that's a sure sign that you're probably emotionally immature. Secondly, showing empathy. When people are emotionally mature, they're able to take themselves out of their situation, put themselves in another shoe, and show that, just show generosity of spirit, show understanding. They're actually empathic for another person's life and what's happened to them. Owning their own mistakes. When someone's emotionally mature, they're able to say, my screw up, my failure, I wasn't watching, or whatever the reason. They don't make excuses for themselves. They show up, they stand up, and they take responsibility by owning their own mistakes. And lastly, they're not afraid of being vulnerable. They're able to basically, they don't want to show you that they're perfect. They want to show you that they're human, that they're ready to engage with you. Now, there are two other ways that even extend further that you can really tell. And one of these, are you able to recognize and voice while accepting your needs? These kind of people are assertive. This is a sign of being emotionally mature. You know when you're getting burned out, and you're able to say it to your partner. You don't just keep going. Or if you need help with the house or chores, instead of playing mind games, you're able to directly express, listen, I need help. I don't feel like this is fair. I would like you to help me with whatever. And this is very important in a healthy relationship. And they're able to set healthy boundaries. They set personal healthy boundaries based on their own values, their own needs, and they don't take responsibility for the way you respond. If people cannot set a boundary, if they let anybody walk all over them, then this is not an emotionally mature person. So I told you earlier that age doesn't have really a lot to do with it, because I see a lot of older people who are emotionally immature. But you can bet that if your partner is younger than 24, there's a good chance that a lot of their issues may be due to maturity. And it's a good idea to wait until they're fully emotionally mature before you would think of deepening the relationship. I have seen exceptions, so I can't say 100%. However, it's usually wise to wait until a person is 24, because by that time, the frontal cortex is supposed to be fully developed. And what you see then is probably what you're going to get. Okay, so how do you know if this is an area you need to work on? I think that first thing you know, if you say, I see myself in this, what am I going to do? Well, the best way, learn to identify your emotions. Start being more self-aware. Start recognizing how you feel. And are you able to step up, or do you usually project the blame onto somebody else? That's a first and classic sign. You need to let go of your shame. Shame holds us back. It traps us in the past. So anything you're shameful for, this is the time to step forward and resolve it. And I think many times shame issues stem from how you were raised, what happened in that first family you were ever part of. Working with a therapist is going to help you let go of shame. Set healthy boundaries. If you don't know how to set healthy boundaries, if you grew up with parents who never had healthy boundaries, then look for a mentor who sets personal boundaries and is able to carry on and not let how others react to those personal boundaries sway them. And once you find this mentor, follow them, watch what they do, talk to them, try and establish a relationship so you can learn how to do that. Take ownership of whatever's going on in your reality. The minute that you hit a circumstance that's difficult or challenging, rather than just throwing up your hands and saying, I need help, or, it's impossible, start thinking out of the box. What can you do to solve this problem? Observe others with judgment. When you see somebody that is good about what reactions they do, I think this is so important, especially now for younger people, to learn to watch others and learn from what they show us. When you find mentors, you can learn this stuff vicariously, and it's going to help you start practicing those areas in your life. And when we follow someone else's lead who is stronger and better at being more emotionally mature, that's how we learn. For many of us, that includes our parents. But for some of you out there, unfortunately, you're on new ground and you're reparenting yourself. Maybe aunts or uncles or coaches, anybody like that who is mentoring an emotionally mature, adult-like way of thinking and doing is going to help you in your personal life and your relationships.